recipe, but I'm not just doing the recipe. I want to talk a little bit about the ingredients, because this is not only an absolutely wonderful recipe that was made by Lou Corona. I don't know if anybody knew that he had cancer, and that he claims that this had cured his cancer, along with a raw food diet that he had started before he created the recipe. But it is a wonderful recipe, and it's also a skin boosting, collagen rejuvenating recipe, and I'm going to explain to you why the ingredients are so anti-aging. So number one, we're going to start off with some celery, which celery has silica in it. And if you've ever heard of silica, it is one of the greatest things for our skin. Celery also acts as a sweeper, which helps to sweep a lot of the bad things out of our bodies. And that helps us to be able to have better digestion. It also has vitamin A, which is great for our skin. So also, we're going to be using cucumbers, which is one of the most hydrating things that we can put into our bodies, which is also a wonderful ingredient. Cilantro. Cilantro helps to remove heavy metals from the body, but it also could be very anti-aging because it also has vitamin A and has vitamin C, which vitamin C is very skin boosting. It's one of the best ways to plump up the skin. So it has also things that can help with sagging of the skin. And then we have parsley, which parsley is very anti-aging. It has many benefits for the skin. It also has vitamin A and C. And I'm going to be using lemon, and these are 2 lemons that I'm using. I like to use extra lemon in this recipe because lemon has so much vitamin C, and why not have that extra boosting vitamin C that is going to help to plump our skin. Also help with the liver, which flushes out toxins and all the free radicals in the air and everything that we take in, all these toxins every day. So it's a great way to do that, and that's why every morning I have lemon water. So it helps to do that, to get rid of all of the bad excess garbage in our body. First thing in the morning, I think, is the best time to have lemon water. And then I'm going to use, this is 3 apples. Why not put apples? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. But apples are also very brightening for the skin. And who doesn't want nice, bright skin? So I'm putting in apples. I'm also going to be using ginger. And ginger is one of the most wonderful things for the body. It's a natural antibiotic. It's also good for the skin for many different reasons. It also flushes out toxins and evens out the skin tone. So why wouldn't we want these great things in our skin and for our bodies in general to fight against cancer and all of the awful things that we have in the air? I'm also putting turmeric, and turmeric is also a wonderful antibacterial, and it's wonderful for the skin actually. People even use turmeric in facial masks and things because of its fight of free radicals and skin brightening. And also, I'm going to be using jalapeno, which a lot of people wouldn't think that jalapeno has many benefits, but it's really good for the circulation, and it also is good for the skin. It helps keep the skin firm. So all of these have skin boosting benefits on top of all of the benefits that it has for our bodies in general. And I was thinking about it the other day, and you know, I heard somebody talking about And it was actually in an exercise program that I heard somebody talking about how the mind has so much to do with things too. That the mind, when you tell yourself when you're exercising, like say you were doing a facial exercise like I do, or you were doing some kind of body exercise, that the mind really works when you're doing things, and it has a lot to do with things. People wouldn't think that thinking and using your brain while you're doing these things, that it would, but there is some kind of correlation. And I think about when I'm drinking things and I'm eating things that are so healthy for my body, I think about what these things are doing for my body, and I try to take my time when I'm drinking these and think about all of the things that are coming into my cells and all of the things that it's doing for my skin while it's doing that. And I feel that that's very helpful, because I feel like we're all rushing through life and people are stuffing things into their bodies all the time. And a lot of times, a lot of these things are damaging our cells in our body, and they're damaging our skin. And people are spending so much money on trying to fix their skin with creams and getting all these injections and all of these things, when all of these things are right here at our fingertips. And I know a lot of people don't believe these things, but one of the problems I feel is that so many people are doing these things, or they think that they want to do these things, and they try doing these things, but then they're eating a McDonald's hamburger. I saw it the other day, I'm not going to mention who it was, but somebody that I know who's always asking me about skin benefits because they know that I do all these things. And I saw them run to a store to get something for their skin and then turn around and eat McDonald's for lunch. And I thought, what in the world? It doesn't work that way. Our skin really needs to be cleaned out of all of that gunk so that it can take in these wonderful ingredients to help to fight these free radicals. If you're putting in all these oils and all this burnt oils and cooked foods and garbage, especially things like McDonald's that isn't even human food, it wasn't even made for our bodies, these kinds of things that we're doing just aren't going to really get into our bloodstream the same way. And this is why I've talked about cleaning out the body with juices, and to really do a juice cleanse to get all that excess out of our body. This is also good for cleaning the entire system, not just for the skin, but also for mucoid plaque. And mucoid plaque builds up around the walls in our body, and we're not able to absorb all of these things. So, I see it all the time with like people that are in pain too, because a lot of these things have a lot of things that can help us with pains in our body and arthritis and things, but not if we're doing all the other stuff. And eating things like breads and all that, breads absorb everything in our body. It even absorbs the good things in the body. And then it puts yeast in the body, and it just doesn't work. And I hate to be so strong about this. I usually don't go on like a rant in the middle of one of my videos, but I see people doing these things all the time, and they ask me these questions, and then I see them doing these things. And this is why they're not working. They're not working because people don't want to understand that they got to get rid of all the old junk before they can get the benefits of these wonderful things that God has given us. So they say that when you start craving bitter things and when you crave things like this, that your body is getting better. So I don't any longer crave bad foods. It's just something that's not even in my vocabulary. And people will ask all the time, well, don't you get hungry for things like a pizza once in a while? And the truth of the matter is I really don't. Because that mind over matter is that when I'm sitting and I'm drinking, for instance, something like this, and I know in my mind that when I sip something like this, that all these good things are going into my body, that my body craves this, that my body wants this, that when I think about putting some kind of poison into my body, it just does not make me feel like I want it. It's not a craving anymore. It's just not something that I even think about anymore. So I think that changing the microbiome and doing a juice cleanse is definitely something that can really help you along, because when you change your gut bacteria and you start drinking things like this, it really does help to get rid of those cravings. And that is just the most important thing, I think, is to get rid of those cravings and start craving these things that are good for us and not bad for us. And a lot of people that are out there eating a lot of this junk food, they really don't understand that. And I can't get them to understand that because they are in the addiction of those foods. And those foods have so many chemicals that alter the brain and make the brain think that they need and they keep wanting these things. And so I hope that I can inspire people. I hope that some of my hard criticism does inspire some people to want to make these changes and start eating more raw foods, things like leafy greens, spinach, kale. Start adding some of the herbs into your salads, and I add things like ginger and turmeric into a lot of my foods along with all of the juicing. And this is what makes me feel good every day. And at my age, there's a lot of people out there my age and younger, people 10 years younger than me, that have a lot of pains and aches and things going on, things like gout, arthritis, where they can't move their fingers, where their back is stiff. And even if you've had an injury and you say, well, I did this in football, or I did this some other kind of way and this can't help, there are studies that have shown that diet, reducing the inflammation in the body, can help to get rid of a lot of these actually old injuries even. So there's no excuses to not start now and change your life. So I hope that this was inspiring to people, and I hope that you're inspired to do this recipe, because I swear you're going to love it. So I'm just going to close with that, and I'm going to read this today out of Deuteronomy, and this is chapter 8, verse 10. And it says, when you have eaten and are full, then you shall bless the Lord your God, the good land which he has given you. So if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful, blessed day.